Hello, welcome to another time in theology class. Today we're going to do introduction to see myself and having hair sticking out all over the place. I can't help it, I've got curly hair. Anyway, today we're going to go into the introduction of 1 Thessalonians, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. And 1 Thessalonians, the church in Thessalonica serves as a powerful example for other boldly persevering despite persecution for their faith. Paul strongly urges them to excel still more, challenge them to rise above adversity, and to deepen their commitment to living for Christ and spreading the gospel. Background: Thessalonica is situated just under 100 miles southwest of Philippi, was the capital and most important city as well as the harbor of the Roman province of Macedonia. The city had a population for around 200,000, which included a strong Jewish community. During Paul's second missionary journey, he founded the Thessalonian church, but his ministry there was cut short due to intense hostility from the Jews. Acts 17, verses 1 through 9. After being forced to leave Thessalonica, Paul went to Berea, where he enjoyed another brief yet successful ministry. However, this too was interrupted by persecution and instigated hostility among the Jews followed him from Thessalonica. So they followed him where he was going so they could disrupt what he was trying to do and cause great division. Acts 17, 10 through 13 is where you can find that. Paul then traveled to Athens, Acts 17, 15 through 34, where Timothy later joined him. Concerned for the newly established church, Paul sent Timothy back to Thessalonica to check on its progress. You can find that in 1 Thessalonians 3, 1 through 5, while Paul himself continued on to Corinth, Acts 18, 1 through 17. After completing his mission, Timothy returned to Corinth with a report about the Thessalonian church, 1 Thessalonians 3, 6 through 8. In response to Timothy's report, Paul wrote this letter to Thessalonians, likely 3 to 6 months after founding the church. The purpose: due to persecution, Paul had to leave Thessalonica suddenly, which meant his young converts received only limited guidance on the Christian life. So he had to leave so quickly that they didn't get all the instructions that Paul would have loved to have given them to establish a strong church. When Timothy informed Paul about their current situation, he wrote this letter for three main reasons. Number one, to express his joy in their unwavering faith and perseverance despite the challenges they faced. Number two, to provide them with further instructions on living a holy and godly life. Number three, to clarify certain beliefs, particularly regarding the status of believers who die before Christ's return. Survey. After greeting the church in chapter 1, verse 1, Paul joyfully commends the Thessalonians for their enduring zeal and faith in face of significant adversity. That's in chapter 1, verses 2 through 10, and chapter 2, 13 through 17. He responds to criticism by reminding the church of the purity of his motives, chapter 2, 1 through 6, the sincerity of his affection and concerns for them, chapter 2, 7 through 8, 17 through 23, 1 through 10, and the integrity of his conduct among them, chapter 2, 19 through 12. Paul emphasizes the necessity and importance of holiness and power in the Christian life. Believers must be holy, chapter 3:13, 4, 1 through 8, and 5, 23 through 24. And the gospel should be accompanied by the power and manifestation of the Holy Spirit, chapter 1, verse 5. Because if we say we believe, but our actions don't show that we are one with Christ, our belief is in vain. He urges the Thessalonians not to quench the Spirit's fire by disregarding its manifestations, especially prophecy, 5:19 through 20. A prominent theme in Paul's letters is Christ's return to rescue his people from God's wrath on earth. Chapter 1:10, 13 through 18, and 5, 1 through 11. Now, some Thessalonian believers had already died, raising concerns about their participation in the final salvation to be revealed at the Lord's coming. In response, Paul explains God's plan for departed saints when Christ returns for his church, chapter 4, verses 13 and 18, and encourages the living about the importance of being ready when Christ comes, chapter 5, 1 through 11. Paul concludes by praying for the sanctification and preservation of the Thessalonians, not theologians. Preservation of the Thessalonians, chapter 5, verses 23 through 24. Special features that we're going to find in this book. This letter characterized by 5 major features. Number 1, it is one of the very first books written in the New Testament. Number 2, it includes key passages about God raising deceased saints when Christ returns to catch up his church, chapter 4, 13 through 18, as well as references to the day of the Lord, 5, 1 through 11. All 5 chapters mentions Christ's return and its significance for believers. There are multiple verses here, and let me list those out to you. Chapter 1, verse 10. Chapter 2, verse 19. Chapter 3, verse 13. Chapter 4, 13 through 18. Chapter 5, 1 through 11. And chapter 5, verse 23. Number 4, it offers unique insight into the life of a zealous yet immature church in the early 50s. Number 5, it highlights the quality of Paul's ministry as a pioneer of the gospel. And that, my beloved brothers and sisters, concludes my introduction to 1 Thessalonians.